So first up, as I said, this is Sauron. I really enjoying painting this guy. There's a lot of metal areas on him, quite a lot of cloth. In terms of the armour, all I did was sort of a really sort of decent layer of Leadbelcher. And then over that I've just sort of done a series of washes, so it was Nuln Oil, then I sort of highlighted some of the kind of more prominent areas, then I did another Nuln Oil wash, again really highlighted, put a sepia wash on it just to sort of darken it down and almost make it a little bit brownish looking, sort of like almost like a tarnished look, and then sort of just an edge highlights with sort of the, what is it, Stormhost Silver, sort of like the one of the lighter ones. As I say, I think he's come out quite well, sort of reasonably happy with the amount of detail I've got on him. As you can see there, the ring is sort of just picked out in gold. And then the front sort of chainmail bit is done in just Leadbelcher and then a Nuln Oil wash. In terms of basing, I still need to get him finished. So at the moment, he's just got Steel Age and Drab and a wash of Agrax Earthshade. But I want to sort of paint up some orcs to go alongside him, and I want them all to look consistent. So I'm not gonna finish basing him until I've decided what I want to do with them sort of longer term. I might go for a darker look on my kind of like evil armies. All my good armies are well, my good army at the moment is done on generation shift bases, but I don't think he really lends himself to going on any of those designs. Yeah, I just want to see what I'm going to do with him longer term. In terms of the cloth, I don't think I've done this particularly well, and if I were to have my time again, I think I would spend a little bit more time on the cloth areas. But it's done well enough for sort of tabletop purposes. And as I say, I'm overall quite sort of chuffed with how the armour has turned out. I want to do the Elendil and Isildur to go alongside him, but I'll probably do the on foot models at the same time as I do the sort of prone models, if that makes sense. Okay, so on to the next model. Next up is the Weathertop Aragorn. Not overly pleased with how I've done this fella. I started him off ages ago again when my painting wasn't particularly great, and I kind of dry brushed his coat, so he just looks a little bit ropey, yeah, I think I will end up either rebuying another one, or potentially doing a conversion that Steve Crow showed up on the GBHL Facebook group. Looked awesome, so I think I might have a go at making one of them once I can pick up another one of these guys and potentially try and do a better job on them. He'll do for sort of tabletop purposes, and if I decide to do the Weathertop scenario with some of my mates, you know, he will fit right in there. But yeah, he'll do for now. In terms of basing, I think I am going to put him on one of the generation shift bases. I think some of the I think like the Ravenhill ones would look quite cool. It would look like they're sort of the broken slabs in Weathertop, and I think I'm going to try and do my 5 ring race on the same base as well, just so that they all kind of tie in together. I have got the 4 hobbits alongside them as well, which I will paint up at some stage, but I don't think they're a priority for me at the moment, and I'll probably put them all on the same base as well. I think they just look quite cool all together, and when I do eventually get a display cabinet, I might sort of just put them to one side or give them their own little stand in there. So yeah, that's why he hasn't been fully based yet. On to the next one. These are some of the high elves I've been working on. So very sort of standard colour scheme, but I've decided to go for green cloaks, just sort of differentiate them a little bit from other kind of high elf armies that you tend to see out there. I was tempted to go for something completely different, like, you know, you see the red cloaks quite a lot with sort of like a very pale sort of beige robes and things, but actually I quite like the scene at the beginning of the Hobbit, sorry, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, where you see the High Elves go up against legions and legions of orcs. So I kind of wanted to keep sort of the traditional gold and gold armor and sort of blue cloth and things. Once these are all done as an army, I'll post like a full group shot, but these were my 4 sort of tester models. I would quite like to do some very sort of thin trim on the cloaks, but my painting isn't really up to scratch for that, if I'm completely honest. I might have a bit of a practice and see how I get on. I might reserve that just for captains and standards and things though, just so that they're you know, the kind of standout models and things. On to the next one. And last but not least, the 2 Sarumen that I painted. These are the guys that I was really happy with. I think that it's the kind of the details and things that I'm most proud of with these. So like the faces, I think I've done reasonably well, and I think I was saying earlier about having a wet palette just to blend the cloaks a little bit better. That's kind of what I'm really pleased with. So yeah, I think bits that I do need to work on, and this is just from looking at very sort of close-up photographs of them and things, is just like the individual strands of hair and how to make hair not look quite so scruffy, because at the moment I tend to just sort of dry brush it, and it's a bit of a lazy way of doing it. So I want to probably just spend a little bit more time sort of perfecting that really. In terms of painting progression and things, that was the Saruman that I painted originally. I was really pleased with them at the time, like really pleased, because I used to hate painting whites, and this is going back to my very early days in the hobby, and not really knowing what I was doing, and having a very limited range of colours available to me just because I was a youngster and didn't have an awful lot of money. So I think my old attempts at painting whites and light colours just didn't go too well. I probably just didn't have the patience either. So I just feel like that as a bit of a step on from there. I have got the White Council pose of Saruman as well. So I'm going to keep that one back, and then what I'm going to hopefully do is in maybe 6 months or a year's time, I might sort of take him out of the packet and give him a coat of paint. Just sort of, again, just to monitor sort of my progression and how I feel like I'm improving on my painting. Yeah, so really pleased with them, and as I say, for any of the bits that I've shown you, if you've got any constructive criticism or suggestions of how to make things better, then feel free to post those in the comments. Thank you very much, guys, and I will catch you in the next hobby update.